Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for today's Learning Tube. And today we have a special guest or certified AI consultant, Angela Hawkins, who will be presenting on the topic AI for personal finance and small business. So let's welcome Angela. You're muted. You're still muted, Angela.
I am so sorry.
There
My,
you are.
okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, of course my screen would go crazy when I tried to unmute it. Okay, so welcome. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you bringing me on and allowing me to talk to your community. My name is Angela Hawkins. I am an AI expert consultant. I am also the owner and founder of Bamblu. So today I wanted to, I'm having a little bit of an issue with my screen. It's stuck. I'm sorry. You know, when one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong. So just give me one moment. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get back to my presentation screen. Okay. All right. So here we go. So, okay, welcome. This is going to be a presentation on mastering personal finance and business growth with AI, or as I like to call it, the more you know, the more you grow. So if you don't mind, we're going to collect some comments or questions in the chat. But I'm asking if there is any thing in there pressing that you need me to look at or review. Someone just jump in and let me know because I cannot see the comments as I'm doing the presentation. So if you don't mind, that would be great. Okay, so let's get going. So we're talking about the more you know, the more you grow. All right, so let's be real. Finances can be a headache. We know this. But if I told you that AI could make your money work smarter, not harder, that's exactly what we're going to be diving into today. So let me go over what we're going to cover. AI for your personal and business finances, because who wouldn't want an assistant, a digital assistant that actually knows what they're doing? Understanding key metrics like profit margins, customer acquisition costs, which we'll call CAC, and customer lifetime value, which we'll call CLV. And these numbers altogether are the numbers that actually matter in business. I'm also going to give you a real life game changing example of my own business, Bamblu, because AI isn't just a cool concept, it's actually a tool for driving results. By the end of this, you'll be able to look at AI as your new financial BFF. You're going to save time, you're going to increase profits, and you're going to keep your money where it belongs with you. So let's get started. Excuse me. Okay. You might be wondering, what is AI in finance and why should I care? Well, I'm so glad you asked. AI is like an overachieving intern that never sleeps, never takes coffee breaks, and it never gets distracted by funny cat videos. It takes data, it crunches numbers, it analyzes trends, and it spits out actionable insight. All of this in a time that it would take you to select your Spotify playlist to work to. So let's get into it. In finance, whether it's personal or business, these tasks are critical for making smart money moves in your business. Would you agree? Let's all be real. Also, it takes a ridiculous amount of time sometimes and a lot of expertise to do this. As small business owners, we don't always have the expertise. We have the gumption, we have the drive, we have the grit, but sometimes that expertise piece is missing. AI not only saves time, but it also translates financial data gibberish into something the rest of us can understand. Okay, now let's talk about marketing spend analysis. That's where we're going to get started. How long would it take you, some of you, to dig into this data? Give me an idea in hours. How long would it take you to dig into marketing spend analysis in your businesses or in your personal? Some of you are thinking, about 4 years, for the degree. Even a seasoned financial analyst like myself has to go through a process. You have to gather the data, you have to create pivot tables in Excel, you have to compare the data to past trends, build reports, and then translate all of that into non-financial human language. What would you think, about an hour, 2 hours for a seasoned financial analyst? Well, for me, like I said, I am one of those, but it would still take me like 4 hours because let's be honest, the phone's gonna ring, the email's gonna ping, and oh, look, that IG reel that I really didn't need to watch. But here we are. Meanwhile, AI can do this entire analysis in seconds. It's gonna upload all of that data, analyze it, no distractions, no detours, just straight insights and instantly. So yeah, AI in finance, it's a game changer. All right, so let's talk money math. It's kind of like girl math, but a little different. But don't worry, we're not gonna put you all through the ringer. AI is gonna do most of the heavy lifting. That's why we're here. So there are key metrics in financial success. The first key metric I would say is profit margins. Are you really making money? So by definition, gross profit margin is what's left over after covering all of your cost of goods that we call COGS. Well, net profit margin is exactly what's left over after all of your expenses. And why that matters is because revenue does not equal profit. You could be making a ton of money on the top end, but barely keeping any of it. And our small business owners, does that sound familiar? Okay, so let's put AI into action. Instead of crunching numbers manually, ChatGPT can actually analyze your Shopify data, wherever you're storing your financial data, like QuickBooks, and it can tell you exactly where your products are making money and which ones are just taking up space. The next is customer acquisition costs. Again, that's CAC. So customer acquisition cost is how much are you paying for your customers? So all the marketing all the marketing dollars that you're spending, divide that number by the total customers that you acquired from that effort, and that's what customer acquisition cost is. It's simple math, but big implications. And why that matters is if you're spending more to acquire customers than it's actually worth, you're in trouble. If you put AI into action here, the AI tools can actually analyze your Facebook ads, it can analyze your marketing spend, and it could pinpoint which campaigns bring you the best ROI or return on investment. And this will help you stop wasting money and stop focusing on what's not working. And the third key metric I want to go over is customer lifetime value. This is a tricky metric that a lot of people get tripped up on, but it is so important. Keeping customers coming back, that's all it really means, is keeping customers coming back. By definition, how much revenue a customer generates over their entire relationship with you in the business. Why that matters is the secret to long-term profitability or retention. It's cheaper to keep a customer than to find a new one. Would you agree? AI in action in this area is AI can predict customer retention patterns, segmenting your high value customers. It can help you to create repeat customer purchase strategies like email reminders or loyalty programs or personalization deals. So that one particular customer that has bought with you 30 times and spends a decent amount of money, loves your product, you can create a specialized deal just for them. Case in point, there was a customer that I had once. Customer loved my products, loved Bamblu, and she not only bought for herself, but she bought for her friends and her family. And I actually created, by looking through and analyzing my back end, I was able to see that. I was able to see what she was buying. I was able to see the frequency in which she was buying. And I actually did that analysis after she contacted me and let me know that one of her packages was lost. Now, of course, I could have told her, well, you need to call the shipper and get the insurance that you paid for to pay for the package. But I also know that that customer was a high valued customer. So I took that data and I made a decision to give her a special deal. I gave her a gift card, and that gift card allowed her to come back and buy something because she had spent so much money with me. That gift card was a good faith effort towards keeping that customer. And I only knew that because I knew my data. So the bottom line is AI helps you turn raw data into making money moves so you can spend less time on spreadsheets and more time on growing your business. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so we're gonna talk about tools now. So tools for small business. Okay, this is how you actually work smarter, not harder. Chat GPT, we all know the name. I like to call him Chatty. I like to use Chat GPT for my financial reporting. So let's turn Chat GPT into your AI CFO. All right, first thing you're going to do is you're going to export your data from Shopify and QuickBooks, and because AI works best with clean, structured data. I know a lot of us are tempted to just jot things down in Excel and run it through Chat GPT, and you can do that. But the reality is that's not clean, that's not structured. So I want you to be able to get into the habit of finding your source of truth, which is your Shopify in your whatever financial system you're using, QuickBooks or Zero, what have you, and use that to create the data that you're going to put into ChatGPT. You want to then consolidate all of that data into spreadsheets, meaning you want to export that data by any means that that those systems are telling you to export it, but make sure that all of your data is labeled. So you have your revenue, your cost of goods, your operating expenses, and those systems, you pay a lot of money for those systems. So believe me, they're meant to work for you. They're going to help you identify what is a revenue, what is a cost of goods, what is an operating expense. But you just want to make sure that that's all clearly labeled before you put it into ChatGPT. And then you want to ask ChatGPT the right questions to turn those raw numbers into actionable insights. Some of the examples of things that I would ask ChatGPT, what are my most profitable sales channels? And I love that question because that question allows me to then get real particular on what I'm looking at. When you download that data, it's a lot. You know, that's a lot of numbers. And especially for those who are not financially savvy, that can be intimidating. But understand that ChatGPT knows exactly what it's looking at. So you don't need to worry about whether or not that information is going to be regurgitated to you in a way that you're able to action it. Instead of digging through your reports for hours, ChatGPT can actually help you identify trends in just seconds, helping you to make better decisions faster. I like to think of it as I can spend time digging through numbers, creating different pivot tables and reports and things like that. But by the time I get to the point where it's time for me to make a decision, I'm exhausted. I'm fatigued. So you want to let chat jump in and take some of that heavy lifting off of you so that you can save those creative juices for making decisions. Other AI tools that you can use to supercharge your business is like we mentioned earlier, Zero and QuickBooks. These actually are not AI tools, but they're AI enabled tools, and they can actually help you to automate your invoices, track your expenses with ease. No more manual number crunching. Please stop receiving your receipts in a shoebox. Get that stuff connected to your bank accounts. Get that stuff connected so that it can automatically process a lot of that. And the only things that you're going to need to action are the anomalies, the things that kind of stick out. I also like to use Canva and Gamma because I want to be able to create eye-catching reports and data visuals. I want to be able to impress my investors. I want to impress my partners. But more importantly, I want to impress myself. I want to be able to look at my numbers and feel confident that what I produced is translatable into what I do every day in my business. And then you can also look at different things like marketing AI. So there are several different different marketing AI tools out there. There's a new one called Kin, Kin, that I actually just started testing with the developers so that I can give them some feedback on making it better. So Kin is connected through my Shopify. With that, I'm able to optimize my ad spend. It actually helps me to create more converting ads and gives me a look at what my numbers are doing in the back end so that the ads that I'm creating are based on the things that need to move and that have a path towards moving. So you want to be able to use tools that are going to help you analyze your performance and ensure that your marketing budget isn't just going down the drain. So the bottom line here is AI can handle tedious financial stuff. Don't worry about that. You need to be able to let it do just that so that you can focus on what really matters, growing your business. Okay? Let's keep moving. Okay. I want to spend some time showing you a case study. So this is a case study for a collaboration that I ran with my business. I'm not sure how many of you could give me a 1 in the comments if you are familiar with this face. This is Aikisha Cologne, and she is a reality star on the show the Bell Collective, or Bell Collective, on the OWN network, Oprah Winfrey's network. And she came to me with an idea to produce a menopause-friendly pajama line for her customers that would allow them to get the same quality restorative sleep that she was getting by using Bamblu. So she wanted to invest in the line. She wanted to, of course, be able to see a return on the end. She wanted to participate in the marketing. So the best thing that I could do was create this process. So I want to dive into it with you. So this is a real world example of how AI transformed my business, specifically how we used AI to streamline financial reporting and boost profitability at Bamblu during the Aikisha Cologne collaboration. So let me give you some of the challenges from the past. This is before the Aikisha Cologne collaboration. Um, it was time intensive to create manual reporting. In the early days of Bamblu, I spent hours pulling sales and marketing data from multiple platforms. It was exhausting and it was inefficient. Now, even though I told you guys I am a finance professional, I do this. I spent 28 years in finance in corporate, but it still was exhausting for me to create the necessary data points that I needed to give to somebody who was not financial and show her the financial standing of her, not only her line, but I wanted to get her engrossed in the details from the pitch all the way to the payout. So the lack of the details and insight often created struggles to pinpoint what products I should focus on, what sizes I should focus on, and what promotions truly drove revenue. I missed growth opportunities. I didn't have real-time data, so I risked stock shortages, which I suffered through quite a bit. And I had ineffective marketing spend. So if you ever spent money on ads and were just like, what happened? I spent all this money, but I didn't get any new customers. That was because the data points weren't clear. I had a lot of opportunities for expansion too that I just was not able to optimize because I didn't have the right information at the right time. So when I partnered with Aikisha Cologne for this collaboration, I knew I had to do things differently. This time, I wanted the data to drive everything from the initial proposal to the final payout. I needed the AI solutions to ensure accuracy, to have timeliness, and show smarter growth decisions. And I needed, again, she was not, she's a reality star, not necessarily a product-based business owner in this pajama space. So I needed to be clear with whatever I gave her, and AI was going to allow me to create that solution to do it. So ChatGPT to the rescue. I automated financial reporting, no more endless spreadsheets. I had the help I took my Shopify sales and marketing data and I effortlessly put it into ChatGPT. I identified the top performing sales days, the sales events, I pinpointed which promotion, or AI pinpointed which promotions and marketing efforts led to the highest revenue. And I also mapped product based on size, based on color. AI revealed the highest selling sizes, which in this case was extra large. And the colors that did the best were crimson and purple. This information was very crucial as I was giving her an update on where we were with her line. And it allowed us to optimize our inventory for our next step. And it gave her a comfort level that I knew where we were going. I wasn't just providing her a shot in the dark, and I wasn't also giving her a slew of information that she had to fumble through in order to get to a point where we could make a decision. So the key result is AI powered wins. We had, with the decisions that we were able to make with this AI powered report, we were able to show a 15% increase in profit margin. We optimized inventory and pricing strategies to improve profitability. We had a 10% reduction in our customer acquisition costs. Remember, we talked about CAC. That was focused on, because we focused on marketing spend on those high impact channels. And for us, that was TV, which was because I told you she was a reality star, and it was pop-ups, in-person pop-ups. We had better inventory management, and AI helped us to adjust our stock levels to meet the demand, especially for those extra large and popular color variants. Again, I had to provide her with this information in the beginning just to get her on board. I used AI to analyze what my lines were doing in the market in order to decide what we were going to order for her line. And then I used that same AI, those same AI analysis to give her an update on how her line did. And when I showed her how her line did, it actually did better than how my line did, because I ordered her line based on the history of my line. So the takeaway is AI is a game changer. By leveraging AI, Bamblu reduced manual effort, and improved decision making and maximized profits, all while making data-driven, confident choices. Imagine what AI can do for your business. Okay, let's keep going. I am going to actually show you, I recorded some of the work that I did. And I took a deep dive into the prep work so that I can show you kind of what I was looking at when I was pulling these reports. This here is Shopify. This is one of the several reports I pulled together using AI-driven analysis to help us determine the next move in the collaboration. At Bamblu, we run through Shopify. While they do take a cut, they also provide a gold mine of reports on the back end. These reports help us to track sales trends, customer behavior, and product performance, giving us the insights we need to make informed decisions. For sales reports, I focus on 3 key Shopify reports. Total sales over time. This tells us when customers are hitting that add to cart button the most, and when things look a little quiet. Looking at this data helps us to connect specific spikes in specific events, promotions, or even seasonal trends. And then I look at orders and returns by product. This report highlights which products are the stars of the show, and which ones we may need to give a little extra marketing love. It also flags any returns given to us, giving us the insight into what customers are loving and what might need some tweaking. And then the last report that I favor is total sales over time. This is a detailed view. It's similar to the first report, but it's more granular data. It allows you to dig deeper into the specific sales periods, helping us to confirm whether a big sales day was driven by a promotion, an event, or just a really good day for online shopping. By analyzing these reports, I can make data-backed decisions that refine our strategy for the Keisha Cologne collection. The goal: make more sales, smarter marketing, and even better experience for our customers. I'm just going to check my... Yeah, right. Okay. All right, so once I identified that the reports I needed in Shopify, the next step was to export those reports into Excel for further analysis. So, pro tip, before diving into your numbers, always make sure that your headings are clear. You want to make sure that it's easy to work with this data. A clean data set makes everything easier to analyze. Whether it's a human or it's AI, a clean data set is imperative. Whether you're creating a pivot table or using that AI, using it to have AI generate insight. Now, technically, you could build a pivot table, and I typically do just because I am financial and it is just a habit for me. You can do that to organize the data to easily review, but guess what? You don't have to. ChatGPT is actually handling all that work for you at record speed. It's sorting, it's calculating, it's analyzing in just seconds. So let it do what it does. But here's one thing I would say. Remember, when working with AI generated data, always review it, confirm your numbers, and do some of the calculations for yourself. Why? Because understanding your data isn't just about accuracy, it's about confidence. You need to know where your numbers come from, how they add up, and be able to defend yourself with anyone else. So think of ChatGPT as a partner and not a crutch. Let AI handle the heavy lifting, but always stay in control of your data. So I took this information into ChatGPT and I said, Chatty, please analyze the results of this sale from the Akeisha Cologne collection in the Excel file I provided. And so what I did was I uploaded that Excel file and then I said, I would like a summary of the top sellers. I would like total sales by variant. I would like the total discounts that were applied to those sales. I want to look at the dates between October 18th and January 3rd. And that just happens to be the date that we launched and the date before I provided her with an update. I also uploaded an analysis of the dates so that I can include in that report. I wanted to identify the highest sales date so we can conclude if it's based on events or holiday. And then I let ChatGPT know on October 18th, 2024, we had a launch event and Akeisha Cologne announced the line. So I know that that's going to be a key date. I also said that we did pre-sales from October 18th through December 16th. And then we received the inventory in the warehouse on December 16th. Then I let ChatGPT know that we offered a free gift with a knapsack for Black Friday weekend. And we had an in-person pop-up on December 21st and December 22nd. I thought that information was crucial to the analysis. So I made sure to put that in my prompt when I talked, when I gave ChatGPT its prompt to move forward. Okay, so moving on. I then, let me go back here for 1 second. I let ChatGPT run and give me all the details. This here that I'm showing you here is ChatGPT actually working and analyzing through the details. It processed the data first just to say, here's what I have, here's what I see, here's your rows, here's your columns. And then it went to the point where it started telling me, it said, okay, let me look at it, let me analyze it. And this is not going to be one of those quick, you put it into chat and it gives it to you in 2 seconds. It takes a little bit of time because it's truly analyzing data. It's telling me what those 5 high sales days were. It's telling me what the total of the discounts was. And then ironically, in this situation, ChatGPT actually got it wrong. I wouldn't say it got it wrong. It read it correctly, but the information was not right. What I did was I created a pivot, which I told you didn't have to do. And when I created that pivot, I gave it a grand total, and it also had the detail. So when chat looked at it, it looked at everything, and it considered grand total one of my actual points of data. So it was giving me the wrong total for my discount. So I had to go back and I had to push chat, and I said, chat, that's not the right discount because I'm looking over here and I see this number. Can you tell me where you're getting that number? And it kept telling me, nope, that's the number because here it is. And then I looked back at my data again and I said, I see the problem. Again, that's why I tell you, you need to go back and you need to spend time analyzing your data, making sure that you understand where it's coming from and where it's and what it's giving you. I'm just keeping an eye on my on the amount of juice that I have on my computer because having all this open runs the juice down very quickly. And I have a lot of stuff plugged up. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't run out of time. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to show you is this is what I did with it after that. I wanted it to be in a pretty format. So I put it into Gamma. Gamma allowed me to create a dazzling presentation that was going to wow the audience. I wanted to, again, make sure that I communicated something to Akeisha that she could see and appreciate because it had it has visual presence. All I did was I copied what ChatGPT said and I put it right into Gamma. Gamma allows you to actually do it, upload information a few different ways. One of them being just copy and pasting. And that's what I did here. So having done that, it then is going to ask me to decide how I want it to look. I did that here, and then I generated the report. Now you can watch this. I think it's going to give it to you in real time. So this kind of shows you how quickly Gamma is taking that data and is putting it into a report format. Love it. It's giving me exactly what I need. So you let it run, let it do its thing. It's going to give you a lot, but guess what? You can go in and edit any of this. You can make it look exactly how you need it to look and do exactly what you need it to do. You're not obligated to stick to the pictures or anything. Yep. And now my computer is going to juice down. So let me do this. Hold on one moment for me. Let me just get a little bit of, I'm sorry about this. I knew that was going to happen because I'm using all of my ports. Hold on just a moment for me. I'm going to, hold on a minute. I'm going to pause my screen share for just a moment. Thank you for your patience. I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose you all, so that is why I okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. So what I did from here is I actually ran it through ChatGPT. I ran it through Gamma to be able to produce this Akeisha Cologne financial performance report. So I'm just going to run you guys through what I actually was able to create, which I thought, which actually came across very well in the presentation. So like I told you, you could change the images, and I did such here. I also want to show you. So I was able to produce the sales overview to give her a high level understanding of that. I also talked about those top 5 sales days, and I gave her Atlanta Pop-Up, Bill Collective. And what that did was that gave her an idea of what marketing efforts really paid off. And then that gives us an idea of what we do going forward. I also talked to her about the top selling variant analysis. So which designs were selling the most. So we had the crimson short set or the purple nightgown. and just gave her an idea of which ones were selling the most. So in case we wanted to go ahead and reproduce anything, we had an idea on how to do that. I also gave her an insight into size distribution. So size distribution is not something that you typically would, hear people talking about when they talk about performance of a line. But that is so important because when you order again, you want to make sure that you're ordering in the right categories because again, that's part of that cost analysis. So if you're paying money to get your inventory in, you want to make sure that you're getting in that inventory that's going to sell. So what those reports showed us, or what it showed ChatGPT, was that extra large is in high demand in her audience. And that was a bit different from what my audience buys. My audience, medium, is the highest demand size. So that gave me a bit of information that I needed in order to continue to market to her audience. I needed to make sure that we over-index on extra large. And then guess what? We only ordered her line through 2X. So this tells me if you have an extra large size, then we need to start looking at maybe skewing upwards and offering not just the 2X, but maybe the 3X. Because her audience is skewing on a larger size. So all of this information I got from letting ChatGPT do an analysis for me. This wasn't because I just am a genius. This really came from doing letting AI do the work. Okay, and then we also looked at color preferences. Colors are so difficult to hone into. Everybody has an idea. Someone's going to tell me, I want black. Someone else is going to tell me, I want fuchsia pink. I want yellow. What people say is not what you want to act on. What people do is what you want to act on. And what they do is shows up in the data. So the data was telling us crimson and purple. And those two are the ones that you should over-index on. Those two are going to be the ones that run out first, and those two are going to be the ones that people come back for. But you don't want to just do this analysis once. You want to do this again and again. So the next meeting that we have, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at all of those points of data again to make sure that they are still telling a story and we are adhering the business to that story that it's telling. Okay. And then we talked about marketing impacts. So marketing impacts like running ads or doing in live opportunities, those are all going to show up in that data as well. The interesting thing for me here was we didn't run ads for her line this time. We were solely relying on the fact that she had a brand new audience that she was bringing in. And as business owners, you often hear that there are 3 ways to get customers. You either build that audience through organic, you either borrow that audience from some other business that has a similar demographic as you, or you buy that audience through ads. In this case, we borrowed audience. So we borrowed Aikisha Cologne's audience through her fanship on the show that she was on, Bell Collective. We borrowed her audience from her sorority. So she had her sorority sisters were very supportive of her and really wanted to show up for her. Her college affiliate, she's an HBCU grad, so she did marketing and did talks and had conversations in that arena as well. But what really showed up for us in terms of marketing impacts that we can impact again was the Atlanta pop-up. We did 2 Atlanta pop-ups during the Christmas season. So kind of right after the shipping dates ended. So you could no longer order by mail, but if you were in the Atlanta area, you can stop in. We actually had Aikisha come in from New Jersey, and she was there with us for 2 days selling to her audience, my audience, and people that were in the purview of our emails or things like that. All the marketing that we did was in the Atlanta area, so people knew if they were out and about shopping for the holiday season, they could come by and participate and meet the muse behind the line, which was awesome. And that again was our top performing day, or top performing 2 days. So that was really good to see. That told us that there's an opportunity for us to do more in-person events. So from that, we booked 2 more in-person events, one for February and one for March. and then potentially one in April, because we know that being in the room and having people meet the muse really makes a difference as to whether or not we can sell. And guess what? We didn't offer a discount on that day. We didn't have any discount running. We just had an experience, and people are always looking for an experience. The next thing that was a big sales boost was when her episode premiered on Bell Collective, and yours truly was on that episode. So, and the funny thing is, I didn't even know when the episode was running. She told me, but I had mixed up the dates. So I didn't get to market like I wanted to. A lot of people saw me because it was a show that they typically watched, or they saw the fact that I tried to push things, push information out there the day of as fast as I could. But what really tipped the scale here was the people that already were watching the show and already a fan of Aikisha's. Now those people were coming to the table and making a purchase because they wanted to support her. And guess what? That made it the third highest sales day in Bamblu for this line. So that was a really good opportunity. But what that also told us was we need to make more appearances. And they don't have to be on TV. Those appearances could be on lives, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube features, things that could get us in front of people. And another thing that actually revealed was new magazines. So we actually had a magazine article that ran earlier this week. Those types of things, people want to see us. People want to see the brand. People want to see the founder and the muse. So giving features is going to be another thing that we need to move with going forward. And then Black Friday. Black Friday, of course, Black Friday is a huge event that a lot of small businesses tend to get some leverage from. So making sure that we identify any of the holidays and events that are coming up, that we show up in that space, because again, that became one of our highest impact marketing events. Okay, so some of the takeaways, as we mentioned, looking at the sizes, looking at the type of marketing opportunities, looking at the colors, and then optimizing marketing strategies. So these are all the things that I was able to take away from the data that I was able to drop into ChatGPT. Again, I didn't take the data and decide what all of these key takeaways were. ChatGPT told me what those key takeaways were, and then I went in and validated it, and I got real comfortable with it. So when I had that conversation with Aikisha, I knew with confidence that I knew what I was talking about, and I also knew with confidence that I knew where we should be going. So all of that came from working with Chatty, my friend Chatty. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next. So, getting started with AI. So you want to make sure that, oh, I had some great notes in here and I can't find them. Hold on one second. You want to make sure that you are identifying your key metrics. So we talked quite a bit about the key metrics that we need to identify in order to get some good content going forward. So your profit margins, your cost of acquisition, your your customer lifetime value, all of those things make a huge difference when it comes to how your brand shows up. Give me one moment. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my notes. Notes are important. Okay, it's not going to allow me to get my notes in here. Okay. I know that there are key things in there that I wanted to convey, so I wanted to be able to look at my notes as I'm going through this, but we're going to wing it. Okay, so identifying your key metrics. Number two, gathering your data. Getting the data from Shopify and QuickBooks, you want to make sure that that data is clean, that data is ready for analysis. There are no holes in your data, so making sure that your QuickBooks is up to date before you allow ChatGPT to give you an analysis, you want to make sure that it's tight. And then you want to analyze it with ChatGPT. So making sure that and you can do this with a free version of ChatGPT, but it's not going to be the same. So I would say if you are a small business owner, having the paid version of ChatGPT is almost one of those things. I mean, you're basically hiring and you're hiring a business partner, your AI partner for $20 a month. I think it's a great return on your investment. So you want to be able to make sure that ChatGPT is able to handle what it is that you're giving it. So you want it to be able, you want to be able to upload data. You want to be able to get the best, the most recent, the deepest information that Chat can give you. All of those things come with the free option. I mean, don't come with the free option, but they do come with the paid version. Although Chat is making some changes here in the recent days, so you may start to see that you'll get more in the free version, I think, as it's starting to compete with DeepSeek. But for what I do and what I trust and what I'm conveying to you, I use the paid version. And then you want to take it to a point where you can create visuals that convert, visuals that impact your end user. And those visuals are going to be, you're going to get those out of Canva. What I do is I create it in Gamma, but then I download it to PowerPoint, and then I upload it into Canva. That allows me to make changes to the data, to the presentation, in a space that I'm very comfortable in, which is Canva. So make sure you use Gamma, make sure you use Canva. You can also upload it into Google. So Google Sheets is going to allow you to make adjustments in there as well. So whatever format you're comfortable with, whatever tools you're comfortable with, get those tools to work with you and work with ChatGPT. Okay. So actionable tips. And so again, you want to set clear KPIs too. So understanding when you put the information into ChatGPT and it gives you the analysis, what do you want it to tell you? What do you want it to do? If it told you that your profit margin was 2%, you can't just say, okay, it's 2% and move forward. Understand what your aim is, what your goal is. And for instance, I want my profit margin to be 20%. And if ChatGPT is telling you something different than that, you need to start digging into why. Why is that profit margin so low? Okay, well, I need to really look at how what I'm spending on acquiring that customer. I need to really look at what I'm spending to purchase that product. I really need to look at how many of my customers are coming back and buying again, or am I having to go and spend money to acquire that customer every time I sell something? These are things that you'll be able to look at with a fresh mind if you're not spending all that time in the beginning organizing the data. Let ChatGPT organize it for you. You spend time getting into the how, the why, and what to make it better. Alrighty. So let's spend a little bit of time looking at your personal expenses with ChatGPT, because you can do a lot of the same things with your personal expenses that you do with your business expenses. I would say the first thing you need to do is download your bank statements. So we all have bank statements. I hope we're not keeping our money in our mattress. You want to take those bank statements and make them work for you. You can sit and crunch the numbers, with your pen and paper and do all the things, even put it into Excel and make it make sense to you. Or you can have ChatGPT to help you. You can look at and I want to make sure it doesn't, okay. You can look at different ways on YouTube as to how to download the bank statements. They're usually pretty self-explanatory on your bank statement. But if you have multiple statements all over the place, you may have an investment account, you may have different things like that. And you want to make sure that you're downloading the same, the information that you need to be able to make it clean. You may need to go onto YouTube and do some work, just trying to understand how to download it and make sure that that download is something that you can upload into ChatGPT. I try not to I try not to upload PDFs into ChatGPT because sometimes it doesn't read it correctly. I would rather turn that PDF into a CSV or an Excel file, and then ChatGPT can read that much easier, and you know that you're going to have a lot less concern with trying to get that information into chat. But you want to let it look at your spending pattern. So you can, and a lot of people will do this with things like, and we'll talk about this on the next slide, things like Mint and different apps. But you can do this with your bank statement and ChatGPT. You don't need the apps if you have a simple banking solution. So if you have one banking institution, all of your money is in the same place, and you just want to be able to analyze that one statement or that one institution, you can download it and put it straight into ChatGPT and not worry about getting one of those highfalutin apps. But you can ask targeted questions when you get into ChatGPT also, like, what are my top 3 spending categories? How much did I spend on dining in the last month? Am I overspending compared to previous months? And then are there any reoccurring subscriptions I should cancel? That one seems to be a hot topic. So if you're spending, if you have a Netflix here and a Netflix under another account, and you have 2 Amazon accounts in one household, all of those things can come to light once you put that information into ChatGPT. You may be paying one at the beginning of the month, one at the end of the month. So to you, it's not really standing out, but ChatGPT is going to be able to identify that and give you some tips on being able to streamline some of your costs. You may be able to run this and come out with a bottom line number, which says you're going to be saving X amount of dollars. You know, you could be saving $50, $100, $200 a month just because you were able to analyze your expenses. That's huge. It really makes a difference, especially in this economy. Y'all see the price of eggs? Eggs are expensive. Okay. So, and let me just look at the time, because I didn't think I was going to be able to spend this, but I thought I was not going to have enough data, enough information for you guys, but we got plenty. Okay, so I also want to talk to you about the banking app. So we talked a little bit about this. So the banking apps are critical when you're trying to look at multiple points of data. So if you want to look at your student loans, your retirement plan, your banking, your credit card, your car loan, your home loan, if you have money in PayPal, you have money in Cash App, you can connect all of those things into a banking app like Mint. You can connect them in there, and then Mint can still give you CSV information that combines all of those apps together. And guess what? You can upload it into ChatGPT, and then Chat is going to analyze your trends. You can get a lot of those analysis from Mint, but you can specifically ask ChatGPT for what you want. And isn't it nice to know that you can have a conversation with Chat that you can't have with some of these banking apps that are, quite handy, and they do make things easy, but they don't always make the conversation fluid. So you can go into Chat and ask Chat, what expenses have increased in the last 3 months? Am I sticking to my budget across all categories? Especially if you're spending from PayPal, you're spending from a credit card, you're spending from your debit card. You want to look at all of that together. ChatGPT can help you take that information out of Mint or any of those banking apps and make it digestible for you to be able to make it actionable. Again, you don't want to be in the habit of trying to figure out how to create that story and then not being too tired or too exhausted or too overwhelmed to then decide what to do with the results of that story. Okay, so there are some pros and cons when you use them, though. You can some of the pros are you can automate transaction tracking, no need to enter the data manually, which is great. You can get more accurate, more detailed, more categorized information from raw bank statements. And they're great for long-term financial monitoring to be proactive in your budgeting. Some of the cons are you have to you're required to sign up for these third-party financial apps, and some may have a cost. You also have data privacy considerations that you need to be aware of. A lot of times, especially if you're looking at a free app, you're going to pay for that app some way. And typically it's by sharing your information. It may not be your banking information, it might be, but at the bare minimum, it's going to be your name, your email, your address, the things that they can sell to make money. Okay. So we're down to the Q&A and resources. So some of the recommended tools that I have for you that we talked about throughout this presentation: Shopify and QuickBooks. Xero is another one that I haven't listed here, but that's actually what I use for my financial bookkeeping. ChatGPT for business. Of course, ChatGPT for business means you're paying for the subscription. Canva, Excel for visualization. You can, as a business owner, I always say there are options out there to do, to have free services, to do some of the free things, but it's hard to build on free. So try to look at the benefits, the cost benefits of paying for a subscription versus having a free subscription, because you may find that that paid subscription gets you light years ahead of where you were and where you want to be. and it is a cost benefit for you to have paid for that subscription. So those are just some things that I would point out. So further reading, I put some things in here, but I actually created a list of things that I think would be a little bit better. And I came up with this after I finished this, but I would suggest that you go and read some topics, read some books on AI for small businesses, create some reading materials for yourself that come from YouTube or different sources like that. You want to stay up to date on what's going on in AI. Right now, even this week, there are some big changes being made on the AI front, and you want to stay ahead of it because the person that falls back and says, "Oh, I have enough," that's the person that's going to be looking antiquated in about a month. So you want to make sure that you stay ahead of the game, get into some tutorials. There's so much information on the Learning Tube. There's so much information in Alicia, the Little Sisters community. You want to get connected and stay connected. Find yourself an accountability partner that has AI training and wanting to learn more in AI, because they're going to also be able to, keep another set of eyes open for you on things that are changing and things that you may need to get ahead of. So that's what I have. I want to make sure that we saved a couple of minutes at least for questions. So let's talk about what are some of your biggest financial challenges and how AI can improve your workflow. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can get into the comments. I would love to hear, and, and I'm going to save the comments for later too, to make sure I go back and read them. I would love to hear more about what you guys think, what you guys have been exposed to. What did you pick up from this presentation, and how can you use some of this to make your days easier? Adrian, do you want to read some to me? Because I wasn't able to watch them during the presentation.
All right. So we have Anna Marie asking a question. She's saying, are security issues connecting accounts to chat?
So this is my take on chat. ChatGPT is a large language model, so it's always learning. But ChatGPT is not necessarily looking to learn how much you have in your operating account. It's more so looking for how many times you use the and, or how you structure your sentence in order to make sure that it's speaking in your tone. So there's a lot of things that ChatGPT is looking to learn, the least of which is trying to learn your personal information to share it. It's trying to learn your personal information to make itself better, to represent you.
Okay, and this isn't a question, but if you have any tips for Berry, Berry says, I'm a brick and mortar bicycle shop. We could use this too, as well as we do have a point of sales machine, but no online Shopify. Any tips for them?
Oh, absolutely. You can use the same techniques that I was using to run your data through ChatGPT. You can do the same thing with a point of sale system. When I'm running my reports in Shopify, which is just an online system, I also have the opportunity to do it for point of sale. And when I do those live in-person events, I'm using a point of sale system. So it's very similar to your brick and mortar. I can take those reports specifically for my point of sale and run it through ChatGPT to get my talking points and to get a better understanding of how did we do, what should we do more of, what did we sell more of, different things like that. But yeah, definitely utilize it for anything that captures data, anything that captures sales data for you. Run it through ChatGPT and see if it gives you information that you didn't know you needed. But be sure to give it information that's clean, it's organized. You have your columns set up so that it can be able to take that information and give you what you need. And then ask it pointed questions. The thing I love most about ChatGPT is I can go back and forth with chat. Like earlier, I will tell you all, I had a time with my ChatGPT today. It was giving me, it kept telling me that it was running into an error, but I had a conversation to understand what that error was. It wasn't like back in the day when you run something through a system and it just didn't work and it just crapped out. I could actually understand what chat was facing with the information that I was giving it so that I could make sure that I gave it better information in order to give me what I needed. So that to me is a huge difference between the before and after of large language models.
Nice. No more questions are in the chat, just praises, everyone saying what a great session it is and how they're going to implement everything you've taught today. So thank you so much for joining us, Angela. It was indeed a very informative session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and see you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.